After her father's funeral, a little girl was kicked out by stepmother, but the millionaire arrived. The rain poured endlessly that evening, washing away the last traces of the funeral flowers. 9-year-old Emma stood alone beside her father's grave, clutching his old wristwatch, the only thing she had left of him. As the mourners disappeared, her stepmother, Victoria, approached with cold eyes and whispered, "You don't belong here anymore." Within hours, Emma's small suitcase was thrown onto the muddy porch, and the door slammed shut behind her. She wandered the dark street, shivering, hungry, and heartbroken, but fate had other plans. Just as she curled up near a bus stop, headlights cut through the storm. A sleek black car stopped, and a tall man in an expensive suit stepped out. He looked at her, then at the watch in her trembling hands, and froze. "Where did you get that?" he asked. Little did Emma know, this stranger was about to change her life forever. The day of the funeral was supposed to bring closure, but for Emma, it marked the beginning of her worst nightmare. Her father, Daniel Miller, a kind-hearted architect, had passed away unexpectedly from a heart attack. Since her mother's death years ago, he had been her entire world. Standing beside the coffin, Emma felt lost, her tiny fingers clutching a folded note she had written to him, "I'll be brave, Daddy." Victoria, her stepmother, wore black lace and a fake sorrowful smile. But as soon as the guests left, her tone changed. "You're not my responsibility anymore," she snapped, throwing Emma's clothes into an old suitcase. "Your father didn't leave anything for you. Everything belongs to me now." Emma cried, pleading, "Please, I'll be good. Daddy said we were family." But Victoria only sneered. "Family? You're nothing but a burden." With that, she dragged the child to the door and pushed her out into the rain. The house that once smelled of pancakes and laughter now echoed only with the sound of the door slamming shut. Emma walked down the lonely street, soaked to the bone. She remembered her father's words, "If you ever feel lost, look up at the stars, I'll be watching." But there were no stars that night. Only darkness. She wandered until she found an empty bus stop. Curling up on the cold bench, she whispered, "Daddy? I miss you." Moments later, bright headlights approached. A car stopped, and a man's voice cut through the storm. "Hey, are you alright? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories that remind us, kindness always finds its way home." The man stepped out, tall, confident, with piercing blue eyes and a gentle tone. His name was Edward Grant, a self-made millionaire known for his construction empire. When he saw Emma clutching the worn-out wristwatch, something stirred in him. "Where did you get that?" he asked softly. Emma hesitated. "It was my dad's. Daniel Miller." Edward froze. "Daniel?" His expression changed completely. He knelt beside her. "I knew your father. He was my best friend. We built our first company together before life took us different ways." Emma's tears fell freely. "He's gone. And my stepmom?" She said, "I can't stay." Edward clenched his fists, fury burning in his eyes. "Get in the car, sweetheart. You're not spending another minute out here." He drove her to his mansion, wrapped her in warm blankets, and gave her hot chocolate. "You're safe now," he promised. Later that night, as Emma slept peacefully for the first time in days, Edward called his lawyer. "Find everything you can about Victoria Miller. I want to know what she's hiding." By morning, the truth came out. Victoria had forged Daniel's will, transferring all property to herself. Emma had been cheated not just of a home, but of her inheritance. Edward smiled grimly. "Not anymore." A week later, Edward arrived at Victoria's mansion, this time with lawyers, police officers, and documents in hand. Victoria's arrogance faded the moment she saw him. "Mr. Grant. What are you doing here?" He handed her the papers. "I'm here on behalf of Daniel Miller's daughter." "You forged a will, Mrs. Miller. You're done." Within minutes, the officers escorted her away, while Emma watched silently from Edward's car. She didn't smile, not yet. She just whispered, "Thank you." Edward turned to her gently. "You don't have to thank me, Emma. Your father once saved my company when I was about to lose everything. I owe him my life. Now, I'm giving that debt back, to you." He rebuilt her home, created a trust fund in her name, and enrolled her in the best school in the city. But most importantly, he gave her something no money could buy, family. Months later, Emma stood in a garden, placing flowers beside her father's grave. This time, she wasn't alone. Edward stood behind her, smiling. She looked up and whispered, "Daddy, I'm okay now. I found someone who cares." The wind blew softly, and for a moment, it felt like her father's spirit was there, at peace.